YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Benji back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, man. Things have gotten crazy in the midst of the Halle Bailey and DDG situation. I mean, 3 weeks ago we saw that Halle Bailey alleged that DDG was physically abusive and manipulative towards her and decided to request for full custody of their child. And DDG has responded. Now, obviously, we're all outsiders looking in. It's unfortunate this stuff is on the internet and everybody's got an opportunity to have commentary and provide opinions on information that we honestly know nothing about. Now I heard DDG's second side of the story, and I think as information is released, we'll probably hear a little bit more. Now, what am I talking about? Sharon just dropped this, that DDG reportedly files a restraining order against Halle Bailey, along with emergency motion to block her Italy trip with Halo. So DDG's been blowing up in the streamer world. He just attended Streamer University and did record numbers, and since then he's been going on streams doing numbers, popping out with plenty of women, and it seems as if this was an opportunity for him to distance himself from the real life drama he had going on. Obviously, him being on social media, his job is pretty public, so he kind of has to continue onward, I guess, with a smile on his face as if nothing was to happen. Halle kind of has been low key. But apparently, documents just dropped. According to court documents, DDG is asking a judge to block Halle from taking her son out of the country, specifically stopping her from flying with Halo this weekend to Italy. DDG claims Halle posted an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their child and that she is not mentally stable enough for her to care for herself, let alone the son. He's apparently worried about what would happen if she leaves the court's jurisdiction. The rapper backs up his concerns by alleging some troubling behavior from Halle, including a past incident where she allegedly took his gun and left the house without telling him where she was going. He further claims that he found her outside just holding the weapon while she was pregnant. Additionally, in another alleged incident, he claims that Halle decided to have an abortion or tried to have an abortion behind his back before changing her mind. She also says that just 2 months after Halo was born, Halle sent him alarming texts threatening self-harm and suggesting that pain might come to their baby. Now, in order to keep an image up, I'm sure that DDG could have done plenty of things in order to try and make sure that she keeps this responsible image while they were together. I think that we can allege the same thing. I mean, Halle looked to do all she could in order to kind of keep DDG's image pretty spot free while they were together. But of course, when people separate, things get messy, things get nasty, and courts have been involved, which is what the internet has been asking for these two people to do. And it's going to become a game of he say, she say. Unfortunately, the child is in the center of this, and we're all going to be in the midst of this as well, since these are two public figures. I think taking them two out of the situation and just kind of looking at the situation for what it is, external of these two, and just being able to take for what it is, it's rough. I'm sure that nobody would want this to go this way. But, I mean, I think it's the greater conversation that we couldn't have. It's just, you got to be careful who you lay with. You got to be, there has to be a clear path of communication, and it has to be understanding, especially if you're talking about a child. Easier said than done, of course, but all you can do is hope for the best. Now, there's obviously going to be plenty of people that are going to be divisive, and are going to be on sides divided. Since we saw when Halle dropped her information a couple weeks ago, plenty of people on the internet were completely damning DDG and were completely upset. Then you had to pay people that didn't believe her. So I think the initial divisiveness was whether or not we should believe all women and if they do this trash, or people are just using their biases, or essentially who they like more in order to support whatever agenda is pushed. Again, I continue to bring up, we don't know these people. So even from based on what is alleged in the court documents, we don't know the scenario. Plenty of regular people go through instances and ups and downs with their family and their partners and significant others, and they're able to recoup and get together on the same page. Unfortunately, being in the level of stardom these people are at, we are thrust in the middle. And the court of public opinion is what a lot of people will thrive on. Especially since it doesn't look like there's going to be any criminal charging that's going on. It also says on another occasion, 2 months after Halo was born, DDG sent Halle a series of alarming text messages threatening to offer herself in GTA and suggesting that their infant son Halo might also be harmed. Bailey has accused DDG of abusive behavior in the past, including once when she alleged that he slammed her face into a steering wheel and chipped her tooth. But DD tells a different version of events, claiming that he came to pick up Halo for his custodial time with his son, but Halle jumped into his back seat, and when he did, demanded they come up with some kind of formal co-parenting schedule. He alleged she became increasingly agitated and started jumping from the backseat to hit him. And her momentum carried her forward, and she smacked her head on the steering wheel. I ain't gonna lie. This is also difficult for me to try and understand the logistics of this. If Shorty was demanding a co-parenting schedule, I think that y'all should have just came together like adults and came up with a co-parenting schedule. I know that it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I mean, there has to be some type of divisiveness or the direction that's instilled coming from DDG. Now, obviously, we don't know how hard they worked in order to mediate or try to come up with this plan, but that is one consistent thing here in both of their stories, is that there wasn't necessarily a set time. Then DD posts this, says he was actually on the receiving end of the abuse by Halle, including photos of a large cut on his hand. A parent who has threatened themselves to be offed repeatedly, has armed himself with a firearm while in an emotional crisis, has driven with the child in a potentially S-word state, and continues to escalate while emotionally dysregulated, cannot be entrusted to care for a vulnerable infant abroad without the safety net of California court supervision, welfare checks, mental health intervention, or child protective services, DDG's lawyer wrote. So she went the route of he's abusive, so I need a restraining order and to be able to take the child away. And then after I take the child away, I want to be able to mandate majority custody. And looks like he's going the direction of she's not mentally fit for this. So what we're going to have to do is give me majority custody. But he also took another step by filing for a restraining order, claiming that he was the victim of abuse. I thought that that's going to be a tough route to go, especially since it's been 3 weeks since she's already filed hers. I don't know the docs, but it looks like she kind of had at least some of her ducks in a row. Like she alerted the police, and etc. months prior. DDG is seeking a stay-away order for Bailey and seeking sole custody of Halo. If that's denied, he wants all custody exchanges to be supervised by a neutral third party. Somebody in the comments said lock them both up. Facts. And look at this comment here. She was having a mental breakdown, cried for help, and he wasn't there for her. She was probably going through postpartum depression. This is sad. Y'all gonna make Halo 5 her emancipation. I just thought we'd do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother's Day. But if you really want to go, you can. I'll just go home and pack. Hello? He didn't view that till 10 p.m. If you don't want to come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my gun. The gun has no safety. Oh, no. So this is 2024, last year. Again, we don't know these people. These are the things that were going behind the scenes. Put it down. There's not something to play with. You're going to... I guess you're going to have him go through life without a mom. I have to go to the police. Can't let this happen. I tried calling. It's just weird. You wouldn't think to check on if we made it safely. This is my point. After a day like yesterday and the things that you said to me, you are just not capable of showing me any affection or love. I call and you send me the voicemail like I'm disturbing you, like a fly's in your way. This is kind of erratic way to try and ask for some compassion and love. But looks like they were obviously in a state in a relationship where things got super drastic. I mean, this is how you testing this dude. And then I guess some type of audio files. Well, this is back in 2022. Answer the effing phone. Answer the effing phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing. That's it. I just want to be left alone, please. I'm calling for help. I have a knife. What's the role there? Because wasn't she not with no child at that point? Then he says, have a knife for what? They had an air tag in the baby's bag. Which I don't know if that necessarily proves or disproves his point. Because I'm sure that she was saying that she was nervous about where the child might go. So I don't know how this... iPhone don't even look like this. Who typed this up? One thing what we're going to do is not accept accountability. Now she was going through something. She was clearly going through postpartum, like clearly. When was the kid born? Halo wasn't born in 2022. She should still be held. Yeah, that's what I was confused. She wasn't even pregnant yet. Now she got excuses, but when it was him, no accountability. This is crazy. This is going to divide the internet. She's a danger to the baby and herself. Y'all mad he's posting a test, but y'all not mad. She tried to make it look like he was abusing her. This is why you need to hear from both sides before picking sides. Abuse. Anyone with a millimeter of emotional intelligence can see that she was having a breakdown in response to not being honored, heard, or ignored on Mother's Day. The girl was in a state of crisis and needing care. She was asking for help and dismissed. All these call-us think pieces on women's response to disregard and disrespect really has to stop. It's breeding a culture of willfully ignorant and long-term lack of safety within a relationship. Sure. I think that you could argue that she was feeling a way about not being heard or seen, but grabbing a knife and threatening to off herself is not an appropriate response to that. What do you mean? And again, we don't know these people. We don't know what may have happened prior to that conversation even coming to fruition. Because dude had the kid. So obviously there was no decisions being made for them to stay together. Seemingly. Guys, I understand the PVD thing, but I mean, yeah, like we have messages in 2022. Now that the messages are off, they both shouldn't do the things that keep each other simple. No one's right, no one's wrong. Yeah, facts. They're both sick. Married with the glass. Oh my gosh. This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You won't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala. Oh my gosh. I'm going to off myself. Uh-oh. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom. I mean, posting that she's ready to off herself, but missing the fact that you went to Mexico with a woman and supposedly slept with her is wild work. I want to off myself and never want to be here again. I hate this all. I hate this life. So she's been doing this for a while. I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down every time. And when I speak about exchanging my son in a money deal for views. Uh-oh. And openly flirt and help every other woman in the world but me. Uh-oh. You hate me and want me to, and I will, because of you. So far this isn't looking good. I got to check the full paperwork because I don't know. I don't know if this really does anything to disprove which one of these claims are. If you were indeed cheating on her and she had an emotional response to being cheated on in Mexico by someone who's probably a companion, I cannot. I mean, I can understand crashing out. That's all I'm going to say. Doesn't make it right? No. Could the next kind of argument be why, when y'all have a child, is this weapon not properly stored away? Could that be the next argument? Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all believe about the situation in the comments below. I hate that we're in the middle of it, but we're in the middle of it.